This is for the leaders, the visionaries, the hope bringers, kindness instigators. This is your place to get loved, poured into, activated, and inspired. All right. Good morning. Welcome to Fireside Friday, September 5th, 2025. I am a little late to start today, so thank you for your patience. I am staying, overnights with two sweet babies, Maho and Remy was not ready to come inside. So we have everybody squared away now. But I hope that you're having a good start to your Friday, even if it's a little unplanned. How parallel to life is that? We are expecting things to go one way, and often we have some deviation. But I actually have a little bit of an opener today. I have a story that I saw on TikTok that I downloaded, and I'm going to share with you here because it's where we're going to camp out around. It's just about 5 or 6 minutes, but I think there's a lot of potency in the story, and it's going to be a great illustration for what I think that we need to hear today.
Standing in the playground behind my school beside this enormous pile of leaves, and this tiny little hand comes out of the leaves with a silver metallic object in it. And the boy attached to the hand, he says, "Look, Mr. Dix, a spoon." And it's a spoon. It's an ordinary kitchen spoon, probably fell out of a lunchbox earlier that day or 10 years ago. But I say, "No, Jamie, that's the spoon of power. And now that I've declared it to be the spoon of power, I must have it because that is who I am." And Jamie knows this. I can see it on the look in his face. And he knows that I know it. And I know that he knows that I know it. And all of this is true because he's running before he says anything else. And the 74 kids that I'm supposed to be monitoring closely are lost to me. And the only thing I focus on is a little redheaded boy with a spoon that I must now have. And we run across the field and we climb up the slide and through the tubes. And 17 minutes later, the bell rings. And that little boy still has the spoon. And I can't believe it. But he's my student. We've got 2 hours left in the school day. He's a 5th grade kid. You know, he's a boy. He has the attention span of like an aging squirrel. He will forget about the spoon and I will get the spoon. So we're in class. I'm teaching math and I can't believe how brazen this kid is. He puts it on his desk, daring me to take it. He's got one eye on the equation, one eye on the spoon. I'm reading to the kids on a stool. It's still sitting there. He's like listening to me and watching the spoon. But I know what his downfall is going to be because at the end of the day we write, and Jamie loves to write. He's one of these kids that as he writes, his head slowly falls on his arm. And I just wait for it to happen. And as I watch his head go down, it's time for me to pounce. I sneak up the aisle. I reach over to grab it, and it's not there. He turns to me and says, "Did you really think I was going to leave it there?" And I turn to the girl next to him. I say, "Well, where's the spoon?" She says, "I don't know what you're talking about." I turn to the boy. "I don't know what." I threaten the whole class. "You're all getting like a year's of homework right now if I don't get the spoon." And then the bell rings. And Jamie's out of his seat. He's running to his locker. As he leaves the room, he stops at the library. He pulls out the S box of books, reaches in, takes out the spoon, and says, "I filed it under S." And he's out the door. I've lost the spoon. I'm never going to see it again. The next day, he walks into the room and he has the spoon around his neck on a chain. And I say, "What?" And he says, "My father drilled the hole and my mom gave me the chain." And as terrible as I am, I know I can't rip a spoon off a kid's neck by the chain. So he just walks around with the spoon of power. Thursday comes. It's time for a math test, and Mackenzie has to lose her mind because this is what Mackenzie does. She might get a 99 instead of 100, and that would be the worst thing. So I have to calm down Mackenzie as I do every day. But then Jamie gets out of his seat, walks over to Mackenzie, takes the spoon off, and puts it on her neck. And for the first time in Mackenzie's life, she does not panic while taking a test. David's grandmother passes away. 3 days later, he comes back to school. Jamie is by the door. As he walks in, he drops the spoon around David's neck and says, "I think you need this today." For the rest of the school year, when a kid is being bullied, or they forget their homework and they have to deal with me, or they've got the wrong snack in their lunchbox, or they have to talk to the principal, Jamie puts the spoon around a kid's neck, and it does more for those kids than I could ever do. On the very last day of school, I gather my kids in a circle. I encourage them to talk to each other, say whatever you want to say. Jamie stands up and he walks to the front of the room. He takes the spoon off and tries to hand it to me. And I say, no, Jamie, there was a day when I wanted that spoon very badly. But it's your spoon. You've earned it. You get to keep it. And Jamie says to me, no. He says, the magic of the spoon only works in my classroom. He says, I have to take the spoon and give it to kids in the future who are going to need it. And then he pulls a chair up alongside me and he steps onto it and he drops the spoon around my neck. Last year was the hardest year in my 24 years of teaching that I have spent in a classroom, trapped between these lines of normal teaching in class every day with 23 kids and this pandemic, masked with grandparents dying and parents getting sick and classmates getting sick and their teacher getting sick. And I used that spoon more last year than I have used in all of the 15 years I have had this spoon around my neck. And thank you. And every teacher in this country ran through walls last year for kids. But I was the luckiest teacher in America last year because 15 years ago, a little red-headed boy found this spoon on the playground and somehow he put magic into this spoon. And I was the only teacher in America last year who got to take this spoon and put it around the necks of frightened children who wanted to spend their days in class with their friends and somehow miraculously make their days better. Thank you.
I have watched that video 3 or 4 times. I've had it for a little bit, but every time I've seen it, I always get tears um, because I think it's really important to remember that we are always imbuing our lives with spoons of power. And there are people who we place those spoons of power around the necks of as we lead, as we love, as we seek to be good mothers, good partners, good leaders in the world. Every single day, we are getting the chance to recognize, to encourage, to inspire. And sometimes I think we don't realize the impact that we have. And when we think about a spoon, that spoon that was found, a chain that was added, and it didn't become just a spoon. It became the spoon of power. It became a place of recognition, of encouragement, of hope, of wonder. Each and every day, we get to choose what we're going to imbue with that same magic. And if you feel like you could use a little magic, then where can you pick a pendant or something in your life that you can hold that reminds you of the way that you want to feel? Of the power that you want to feel like you have. Because sometimes, too, in circumstances that we live inside of, we tell stories that we have no power. And that's a lie. We always have power. We always have a choice about how we're going to view the situation we're inside of. And sometimes feels insurmountable. It feels quite impossible. But most things that are worth doing and are worth having and are worth creating and cultivating, they don't happen overnight. They happen with each and every day and every decision and every moment that we choose to continue to choose that spoon of power, of hope, of encouragement, of love. And we can choose that anytime we want. And as we choose it, we are examples of that choice. We are invitations into something bigger than ourselves. And if you need, again, just encouragement and to believe in something bigger than yourself, take a moment to walk outside and notice how many things exist in color and sight and smell and sound And let those be reminders to how loved you are. You didn't create any of that. That was created for you. That was created to be part of the magical world that you live inside of. We're always creating the environment around us with spoons of power to receive, to give out, to imbue. What a powerful remembrance of how incredibly potent something so small as belief and words of encouragement over one another is. There is something to that. That little boy gave him that spoon 15 years ago. I think that is from a 2022 poetry slam kind of deal. So we're looking at if he's still teaching. But now he's taking that story and he's telling it to crowds of people. That spoon of power isn't just a moment. It is the story that lives beyond the moment. It is the story that lives into the ripples of the lives around us. And sometimes spoons of power are just a smile. It's just seeing the incredible potential that a person is across from you just by being kind, just by being loving. And if we choose that in these moments where we feel like things are insurmountable, we're not sure how we're going to round this corner, we're not sure where that next dollar is going to come from, whatever the story is right now that you're inside of, how can we get a spoon of power and recognition in your life so that you can continue doing the work and being the love and encouragement, inspiration that you long to be? What does that look like for you? And again, maybe there's a totem, something you need to go and find or seek, or it becomes something really magical that you get to ask to provide. Give me a sign, give me something to hold, give me something that will inspire me when I see it. Um, there is, this is really cool. There was a call recently where um, we were on a group call, and there was a woman who held up a figurine that was really important to her. And I think it's called a willow figurine. I think I still have the picture here. Bear with me. I wasn't planning to use this, but I think it's important. Um, and it's this woman with her arms stretched out wide and they're birds landing on her arms. Um, and the figurine is called Happiness, but to me it looks almost like freedom. It looks like just expansive, expressive, like trust, surrender, and freedom. Like there's something about that. And it was with a group call with my mentor, Nicole. And I actually had purchased that same willow figurine for Nicole. So someone else in our group was showing it as something that meant something to her that was receiving her focus that day. And then following that call over the weekend, I was at somebody's random house doing a pet sit, and there in her window, oh, it's going to block it out. Oh, there it is. If you can see them, there were two of those same figurines there in the window. Um, and that's not lost on me. It's really special. It's one of those things, like, again, what we look for, we will find. What we seek, we will find. It will be given to us. So, wherever you are today, as you listen to these words, I'm asking that those synchronicities would be around you. I'm asking for you to ask for signs. I'm asking for you to create these ways that you get to stay in touch with the bigger truths outside of the day to day, outside of the ways that life may not go as we plan, outside of chasing dogs down when they won't come in because they're just not ready. They need more adventure, and I respect that too. It's hard to be mad. It's hard to be frustrated when we all just want a little more freedom and permission to live expansive, wonderful lives. Our card for today comes from the Angels and Ancestors Oracle. It is the Spirit Fox. Trust your talents in changing times. Trust your talents in changing times. Message: stay alert as change is in the air. About the spirit fox features my favorite animal of all time, the red fox, an amazingly resilient creature able to survive in urban environments or in the freezing temperatures of the Arctic. Foxes know what it's like to be hunted. For centuries, they have been sought for their precious fur when all they want is to survive. So the spirit fox can help you overcome the energies of adversity and unfair treatment. Also, as urban foxes hide in cities and go about their business in the darker hours, the fox offers the medicine of blending in. The energies around you are changing at this time, and although it may not always be comfortable, you are equipped with all that you need. You are equipped with all you need. You are equipped with all you need. And you will survive this shift. You are being presented with opportunities to reach spaces you've never encountered before, and this can make you feel on edge. But be open to the shifts occurring because they really are the answers to your prayers. The experience of being hunted or threatened is now behind you, and you are being invited to come out from your den and reveal your glory and talents. Call upon your spirit fox medicine to help you be seen for who you are and trust in your talents in order to be the best you can be in these changing times. What really stood out to me about the message, aside from you will be given, you will be equipped with what you need, of course, is that the things that are going on, these adversities that we are facing, are for us. They may not feel like we have an answer, and it may not be the way that we thought it was going to be, but this is for us too. These things are for us too. You are being presented with opportunities to reach spaces you've never encountered before. And this can make you feel on edge, but be open to the shifts occurring because they really are the answers to your prayers. They really are the answers to your prayers. Sometimes to get where we're going, we have to go through things and put us in positions that we've never faced before. It's going to give us the resilience, the talent, because sometimes even skill, right, is born from that adversity, from things that we have to develop as we shift. These things are for you. They are for you. They are for those spoons of power that rest on your neck and the ones that you want to extend into the world. Each and every day, you have a chance to lean into these moments. You are provided for, you are cared for, you are loved, and it's okay if you don't have the answer. You'll be supported, and this is for us too. I hope you have a great weekend. I'll see you next week.